Welcome to our podcast, Life Eventually. I am Melinda Yvette.
And I am Dr. Alicia Yvette, and we are just two women
working to figure it out eventually. All right, let's introduce ourselves.
My name is Alicia Yvette. I am currently a scientist, and I am married with 2 children.
My name is Melinda Yvette, and I am a bus driver, and I am engaged with 1 daughter. And let's talk about how we even know each other.
Where should we start?
Well, I think we should just start with school and how we met. We went to the same high school and never crossed paths, had separate friend groups. I think I may have known a few of your friends and you may know my friends, but we just never crossed paths until senior year, where we just got divine intervention and we got stuck sitting in the same table in homeroom. And it just kind of flourished little by little.
And homeroom was only 10 minutes long, 10, 15 minutes long.
Not long at all.
And,
not long.
Just to give some context, it has about 4,000 people. So it was very easy to be in the same high school and not really know and see new people every day. So even though we sat at the same table, we spent a lot of time not interacting with each other.
Our grade alone for graduation was almost 1,000 students that graduated.
I believe it was 908 in 2008. Yeah. So
that was a lot to miss one person. So it makes sense that we didn't cross paths until basically forcibly into a table together.
Yeah, but even I feel like before we had that table together, the 3 years before senior year, we were in the same room for homeroom. It usually was a classroom that we just checked in for attendance. And I feel like in those few minutes, you would see how people in the class were treating me. Me, it was kind of random because I'm like, what did I do to you guys? But I felt like I had bigger problems. So I didn't try to give them too much mind or get myself in trouble over them because I'm like, I don't even know these people.
And honestly, I've always been, and I've told you this plenty of times before, I'm not a person that goes by what other people say and how they feel about a person. I'm more of a person that I will get to know you and I will make my own judgment. And I think that was great for us as far as when we were sitting together. I tried to show you that I pass no judgment on whatever people felt about you. And I had issues too. People felt a way about me. Oh man, it was ridiculous.
I had no idea. It's just that's how big the school was.
I'm trying to tell you, it was like we went through similar things, just in different groups.
Yeah, we were at the same place, but just had different worlds.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But I just remember always coming to homeroom and having my blueberry muffin. And I'd be like, you want some? We split a blueberry muffin all the time.
Yeah. But for me, it was I didn't understand. Now I realize that high school is just a hormonal place and it just nobody knew what was going on. And some people just took it out on other people. And
yeah, I think it takes one person to say something stupid. And then it just became a following. It wasn't even that anybody had their own judgments. They just followed what someone else would say and then just be like, yes, man.
Exactly. If you asked anyone, what did she do to you? They'd probably be like, oh, well, so-and-so. It'd be somebody else's story or something they heard. But what I feel like I see is that's on social media every day now. That's what people do now. They pick somebody and, just because one person said something or post something about somebody, then, everyone's going off with their comments, opinions.
And it's way worse now. Granted,
because the people are behind a screen. These are people saying it to our face.
Yeah. I feel like it's worse now because there's people who are going to say it in your face and online.
Yeah.
But I feel like we were right at the cusp of when social media really became a thing. So I don't think we got that type of bullying.
We got the beginning because I felt like we still had MySpace drama.
Yeah. We definitely had it, but I
it was too new for it to be. I feel like when I went to Brockton High, everybody was on their phone. which we weren't allowed. We got our phone taken. I guess there's too many. They can't take them all, and parents were
Yes.
coming in mad. And, what I know is kids are more violent and we're fighting more in school. Like, it's,
Hmm.
but we still had some of that. But I feel like the common theme is the bullying. And also, it's Brockton. A lot of people are going through things at home, and it's like, okay, so people are going through it at home and they're going through it at school. We're supposed to learn, it's supposed to be safe. I feel like teachers never intervened.
Absolutely. It was
There were
like
people talking openly and rudely, calling me by name. I wasn't saying nothing back. I felt like the teacher never had said anything.
you could be in the hallway and a fight would break out, and they'd be like, I'm in my classroom.
Yep.
Somebody else will deal with that. They were not very supportive. There was a handful of teachers in that big of a school that actually were kind-hearted people.
Definitely.
I don't think a lot of those teachers, and you know what? I don't even fault them sometimes, because I'm like, it's such a huge school. It's so much pressure, even for a teacher. Because now looking back, I'm like, my God, there's a lot of kids. And then to try to deal with a lot of these badass kids.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was teachers who got injured in fights when we were there.
Stress, severe stress. That's all I can think of. Like, as an adult, I think it was stressful in itself.
Yeah, and I don't work at a school with a bunch of wild teenagers doing what they want.
I mean, I'm a bus driver now, so I'm like, oh, I kind of see it now from a different point of view. Like, this is overwhelming. And I can see why you would want to, like, just be like, you know what, blind eye.
Not today.
Blind eye. I'm not doing it. But at the same time, I still feel like, I mean, wrong is wrong, and you should step in when something's not right.
Definitely. I feel like for me, it just was like, okay, if I can ignore these people, move on to my classes. I was in AP and advanced classes. It was like the same people who were picking on me were not the same ones all the time. Sometimes there were a few, but didn't really pick on me in my classes. So I felt like, okay, once I get the first period, that's why, I mean, there were some years I got in trouble that I stopped showing up to homeroom.
Oh, wow.
So I would get demerits. Or I try to show up at the last minute, and that would get me close to suspension. But it was literally because I was avoiding people just picking on me the whole time.
That's really frustrating, honestly. It's frustrating to hear those things, because even in high school, that would really boil me right there, to hear that somebody is feeling that way. Because I was not quiet in the sense of, like, if you are wronging somebody, I will say it. So that's why it really...
Yeah, and that was like a fraction. Those were like, these are the people I could ignore. There was other people in my life that were doing worse that I was like, I can't ignore them. So it was like...
Absolutely, like your home life.
But it still would be like, why did I get picked? Like, why out of everyone in this class? Like, it's like they wait for me to come in, so...
I'm serious. I was getting in fights with people, I had no idea what their names were. Like, I don't know you. And they were genuinely upset with me, hated me, wanted to fight me, thought I was trying to take their man, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, I don't even know you. Who is your man?
Exactly.
Like, what is happening here? I had a friend that stuck up for me, and he literally almost got in a fight with the girl's boyfriend, because he's like, she doesn't know you. She genuinely doesn't know you.
Like, there's so many people, like I said, it's like, when I went to college, there was a lot of, like, it was a primarily white institution, and I stuck out. But at Brockton High, I fit in. I look like a lot of people, and that happened to me sometimes. Like, people thought I was somebody else. Like, some Cape Verdean girl or some of the Puerto Rican girl, and it's like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You never know. You was probably getting... mistaken for me too.
Right?
And I was probably getting mistaken for you. Those curly hair girls, we was there looking.
No, light skin, curly hair.
Light skin, curly hair girls. There you go. That's it. We're getting caught up into some business that I don't even have anything to do with us.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a common theme for a lot of high schoolers. They go through that drama. And I feel bad that people really internalize it and carry with them the rest of their lives. Because I felt like when I went to college, I was like, I'm out, I'm free. I wanted to go to school far away from Brockton High, so no one from Brockton High was in my college and could start anything and ruin what I had. So it's like some people like, it's not even about going to a different school, but some people like carry what the people said about them or feel insecure, like, oh, I didn't fit in high school. I'm not going to fit in, in my job or,
Yeah.
and then it's like a downward cycle. Like, I feel like almost everyone I know got picked on. I don't know what it is, maybe, but like a lot of people I know got it in high school, and it's just sad that it's like that.
And I think back then, like I was trying to say, is that we were at the cusp of when social media even began. So we only had one source of social media at that point, which was MySpace. It's not like now where there's Snapchat, Instagram, like Facebook. MySpace still exists.
TikTok, like it's
You know what I
everywhere.
mean?
Yeah,
There's
it's like 10 ways
everywhere
to
that-
reach you.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to ruin somebody's life now.
There's a lot of
And
anonymous things that people do. It's like really common to have fake profiles and
absolutely. And I think it's a little bit worse in that sense where now it's broadcast everywhere instead
Yeah.
of just one specific place.
Yeah, exactly. Like you didn't even know as much about me going on, but imagine if it was on Facebook or
Yeah.
and the people were doing that. I feel for today's kids because it's like it's a little different and
You can't run from
you
it.
go, yeah, exactly. You take it home with you, and it's like for the kids who still have stuff to deal with at home, that's like a recipe for disaster. So, Melinda, how would you handle things differently back in high school?
The first thing that I would remind myself is that this is temporary. I think a lot of the time when we were in high school, I can speak for myself, but I am pretty sure everyone else felt it. Like this felt like this was the end all be all. This was life. And it didn't feel like there was a light at the end of the tunnel, that it would be done. You just felt like this is it. This is happening and this is going to be my life forever. And you just don't put into perspective that this is a short span of my life. I can get through this. I will move past this. I don't have to see anybody again if I don't want to, which is pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
I graduated and I left. I didn't take one photo. My mother said, "You want to take a picture with anybody of your friends?" Nope, I'm walked out. We left. I never looked back. And that's what I want to like. I want to shake me when I was younger and say, "Girl, it is not that serious. We're just going to deal with this for a short period of time and we can push through it. Do not cry anymore." Because I cried and I cried and I cried a lot and I just felt overwhelmed. And I just wish that I would have handled it more like calmly and just understand that this is a temporary feeling.
Definitely.
How would you have handled things differently?
I think there were times, and mostly when it came to boyfriends, where I was like, "Oh, this is the end of the world," and I couldn't see past that moment. But for me, a lot of times in terms of my classmate, I felt like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of here." Like I already knew I was taking off to my advanced classes. Everyone else was planning their colleges, so I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait till they're not my classes. They're not. I don't see them in homeroom." Like.
Mhm.
But I wish I had advocated for myself more. I wish I looked at the teacher when they were picking me instead of looking down and be like, "What you gonna do?" And going up to them like, "I don't feel safe." Like using those right words, those key words to be like, someone needed to step in, maybe move me to a different homeroom, maybe, like threaten
Absolutely.
to send them to the office, something. And I wish I'd even looked at them like, "What did I do to you?"
Yeah.
And I bet you if I turned to them and be like, "Yo, what's your beef? Like, what did I really do to you other than exist? Like, can you not?" I think it would have been different if I spoke up more. I
Yeah.
kind of just ate it.
Definitely advocating for yourself would have maybe made a bigger change. And I feel that too for myself. Maybe I would, if I would have said more, did more. I think I did more advocating for other people than I did for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I can genuinely say that. Like, I've really argued and tried to help other people the best that I could. And I didn't give myself the same energy. And I don't think that I felt like I deserved that energy for myself. I had a lot of issues. I was
Yeah.
very depressed all through high school. So I think seeing other people always hurt me and I didn't want them to hurt like how I hurt. And then I just didn't choose to advocate for myself because for some reason I just didn't feel like I personally deserved it, but everyone else did.
Exactly. And I think that always, I feel like for me, that continues into adulthood that, I'll take care of other people more than myself.
I agree.
But I make it a point, like, even if, like, I'm running around the house doing laundry, folding clothes, I literally will be like, okay, I did 3 things for other people. Like, I cleaned up, I did this. I'm going to at least drink some water, maybe, moisturize my face, put on a hair mask. Like, I've been trying to, like, 2 for you, 2 for me. Like, just even if it's tiny, like, just putting lotion on my hands or something, like, just like, otherwise we're just going to wither away. And, how do we give to other people? So I've been making that a point. I've been trying to give back to myself what I'm willing to give to others.
That's definitely a great thing to start doing. And I will take that into consideration and I will put it into my world.
Yes. Like, I've been trying to do my hair. Like, I'm wearing COVID, so it's like impossible. But I try to dress up in the morning, put on a little mascara, stuff I wouldn't do because I'm just home. But it kind of keeps me from falling into it. I feel a little better. Okay, I wake up, I have a routine. I took a shower.
Yeah.
I feel like, high school is so far away, but there's some themes that still persist as I'm a mother. And, all I want to do is make sure that I change that so I can get ahead of it. And so my kids don't go through the same thing and I don't know how to support them.
Absolutely. I still feel like there's remnants of things that were from high school that still linger in my life now. And I really I'm on this journey right now where I'm trying to be more positive because, oh my God, I've spent so much of my life negative.
Yes,
so much of
me
my
too.
life. And I just don't want to be that person anymore. And I think it's finally starting to sink in that, girl, you deserve more. Like, you are well overdue for love.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable because I'm not used to it, but I am going to keep fighting for wanting positivity, love, and just
peace.
Yes, peace in general. Because I'm telling you, I can't even remember a time where I was happy. I have been depressed my entire life. And even after having my daughter, I was, girl, just sank right down.
Postpartum.
Oh my God, it just got worse.
And that maybe needs to be a later conversation we need to have, is about postpartum and how we got through that. Because I know a lot of women, almost everyone I know goes through at least something where they're just like, oh my goodness, this is so hard.
Absolutely. I will have your ear full on that conversation. But I want to be in a better space for my life, for myself first, and also for my family. That for me, I have to remember to try to put myself first. Because if I don't do it, how am I being there for everyone else? I'm not doing a justice for anybody or for myself if I'm not doing the work for me.
What is your purpose for doing the podcast?
Just in general, like, I just want to help people. And that's always been my theme in life. I always want to help. I want to be able to speak freely and truly see from other people's point of view and really give quality feedback and also make sure that people are leaving with learning something new or feeling validated for their feelings.
I like that. For me, I feel like a lot of people have the assumption that I have everything all together with everything going on in my life. And I feel like I haven't had it together. I don't have it together, and I may never have it together. But, you can still move forward and do things and be positive, like you said. So I think that that's really my purpose, is to kind of just be a real, genuine person that's not just, I show only the best parts on social media. And hide the, the negative parts or the parts that are more difficult. So that's really my purpose for, talking the podcast. And I know there's a lot of people who feel alone or struggle and feel like no one can really relate. And I know there's too many people who have the similar story to not be able to relate to anyone. So
absolutely,
I hope that someone can at least feel like, okay, someone else has been through it, like maybe still going through it, and we're still trying, we're still keeping it positive, and keep going.
And keep it open. Do not close off. Be able to speak. Use your voice. A lot of people are constantly just living in their head and not able to really express themselves or feel safe to express themselves. And I think like that is something that I would love for both of us, just to feel more comfortable in our own skin, being able to be open and say what's truly on our minds and not feel judged.
Definitely. So what are you most excited for as we try to put something together? This, it's happened sporadically. It's like a goal for both of us, and now we're collaborating. What's the part you're most excited about?
I'm excited to have someone to talk to, one, because I've always wanted to do a podcast, and this just kind of happened just out of nowhere. And I think it was divine intervention, like I told you.
Definitely.
It all started from a pretty selfie that you posted on Snap. And I just gave you all the eyes because you were so pretty.
Filters are
right. We just caught back up. We had not been talking, not on purpose. We just lost track. We hadn't talked in years, right? I would say years.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah, it's been a few.
Yeah.
I think we talked a little bit on Snapchat a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life goes by fast.
Sporadic. It was very sporadic, but we just happened again to talk again, and it just kind of organically came about that this was something that I was interested in. And then you were like, well, girl, this is what I've been working on. I want to do this. And I mean, this just happened yesterday. And here we are today.
Yes, and I'm really glad that we're actually doing it. I'm always about action. I like, if I'm not going to do something, I don't want to just talk about it. Like, I really try to at least try. Like, at least we could say we tried. Not like we just, we say we talked about it.
Exactly.
So we can, hopefully put this together, put it out there. That's what I'm excited for is, a lot of people have said that this is something I should do. I've been participating in podcasts, and I really just want to put myself out there and get feedback on what people want to hear, and also bring on really interesting people with different viewpoints that we can learn from.
Absolutely. And I think I just want to have fun.
Yeah, keep it positive.
To be vulnerable. I want to be able to have a little bit of therapy that I'm desperately in need of. And I look forward to also having guests. And because my intelligent counterpart, you're so much more smarter than I want to learn more. And whatever the person comes on, I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more than what you probably will, because you're so smart.
Thank you. It's only because I love learning from other people. That's all I, do is I just take in what I can.
I think I will hold it down for the regular people that don't really know what's happening. And then you'll hold it down for all those intelligent boss women. I'm just going to be regular.
And you are an intelligent boss woman. Look, we're doing this podcast, so don't underestimate yourself.
Thanks for listening, and remember, life comes together eventually. Tune in with us next time, where we will discuss postpartum depression and its effects. Make sure you comment and let us know what you want to hear in future episodes.
Please follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, and Anchor FM. And we are also on Instagram and YouTube, which can be found in the description links.